In this video we're going to look at converting ordinary numbers into standard form. And the first thing we need to realize with standard form is when we do write the number in standard form, the first part of it needs to be a number between 1 and 10, and then it is always multiplied by 10 to some power. So let's take a look at some examples here. So on my first one, 105, what I'm going to do here is I'm not going to change the digits. So my answer is going to have 105 as part of it, and it is going to be multiplied by 10 to some power. Now we need to put a decimal point in here so that our number is still between 1 and 10. So our decimal point can go here, nowhere else. So 1.05, that's between 1 and 10, which is what I wanted. And now I got to think, how did I move that so the decimal point is between the 1 and the 0? Well, at the moment, the decimal point is here. It's at the end of this 5. So we had to move it by multiplying by 2 tens. So my power here is going to be 10 to the power of 2. So if I was to take this number, multiply it by 10 twice, or multiply it by 100, then it would get us back to what we had originally. So this is the same number but written in standard form. So let's take a look at the second example. In this one, we've got the decimal point is here at the end again, because we don't have one at the moment. So I would have to multiply this number by 10 once, twice, 3 times, so that I get 1.05 multiplied by 10 to the power. Remember, it was 3 times we had to multiply it. So there's our number. Still between 1 and 10, this value. Multiplied by 10. We need to do that 3 times if we're going to get back to this number. So same number, but written in a different way. Here we've got a slightly different example. Same digits. So I'm going to have 105 in my answer. But this time the decimal point is here. So we're going to have to multiply it just the once to get it between the 1 and the 0. And again, the only reason I want it to be between the 1 and the 0 is because it makes this between 1 and 10. It's multiplied by 10. We multiplied it once, so we can leave it as 10, or if you wish, pop in a power of 1 there. Hopefully you're getting the idea of it now. Here, you notice a slight difference now. This number is less than 1 this time. What we're doing here is, to make it 1.05, what we're actually doing, because I'm moving the decimal point in the opposite direction, I'm dividing by 10 this time. So this is what it does to my answer. We're still multiplying by 10, because that's how we write standard form. We've moved the decimal point just the once, so we've only used 110. But because I want to make my number smaller, and it's a divide by 10, it's going to be a negative power. That's the only difference there. Negative power means that my number in ordinary form would have been less than 10. Less than 1, sorry. So our final example for now. Again, I want my number to be between 1 and 10. So to do that, the decimal point would need to go there. It's got to be between the 1 and the 0. So it's going to be 1.05. As with standard form, it is always multiplied by 10 to some power. And we can see with this one, it's a very, very small number. It's less than 1. And we're dividing by 10s this time, so it's going to be a negative power. The final thing to work out is, how many times do we move that decimal point? 1, 2, 3 times. And that's it, done. So again, just to reiterate some of the key points, that first number, it needs to be between 1 and 10. It is always multiplied by a 10. And then lastly, it's a negative power if it's going to be a number that's less than 1. A few more examples here to try. If you're feeling a little bit confident with it, do pause the video and have a go at some of these for yourselves now. Right, hopefully you did have a go at that and you've had some success. So my first number is 234. So in standard form, that's going to be 2.34 in a way, multiplied by 10. There is no decimal point there at the moment, so we assume here it's at the end. And to get it to 2.34, we would have to multiply this by 10 twice. So there's my answer, 2.34 between 1 and 10, and it's times by 100 to get back to that ordinary form. The second one, I'm seeing straight away here, it's a number that's less than 1. So it's going to be 10 to some minus power. Digits, remember, don't change, so we're just moving a decimal point, so it's going to be 2.3. And we moved it 1, 2, 3 times, so it's a minus 3 as our power. And now lastly, again, we're just moving a decimal point, so it's going to be 2.3. I moved that 1, 2, 3, 4 times. It's a very big number here, greater than 10, so it's going to be a positive 4 in our power. Hopefully you did try those for yourself and you had some success. On these next few questions, do pause the video, see how you do with them. Again, remembering that my first number needs to be between 1 and 10. It is always multiplied by 10. You just need to figure out what is that power going to be. It's going to be a positive power if I've got a very large number. It's going to be a negative power if it's a number less than 1. So pause the video now. Right guys, let's see how you did on these. So on the first one, 17.5, that would be 1.75 multiplied by 10. We moved it once, so you can leave that as a 10, or if you had 10 to the power 1, that is exactly the same thing. That is perfectly correct. Number 2, so I can see straight away that this is going to be a number, it's less than 1, so it's going to be a negative power. We've got to move the decimal point 1, 2, 3 times so that I get the 1.75. So there's my number in ordinary form, 1.75 multiplied by 10 to the power minus 3. Next one, I've got 175 again, so it's going to be 1.75. It's going to be multiplied by 10. It's a number less than 1 at the moment, so it's going to be a negative power. And I move the decimal point 2, 3, 4 times. Question 4. I've got 75,000 here at the moment, so that's going to be 7.5 multiplied by 10. At the moment, the decimal point, there isn't one there, so we put it at the end. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 times I moved it. And there's no more to it. And then lastly, 17.05. Clearly it's greater than 10, so we're going to have to move that decimal point once. So I get 1.7. Now on this one, we got to be very careful. It's 705, so we keep that 0, 5, so that the 5 holds its value. Multiplied by 10. You multiply that once, it gets you back to the 17.05, so that's fine as your answer. Or you could have 10 to the power 1. Either one is correct. Hopefully you had plenty of success on that, and you understand how you convert ordinary numbers into standard form. Thank you for watching the video.